welcome everyone. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for more people to join and then we'll start.
Hi, Rosie.
Hello. Okay, get going. So hi everyone, my name is Rosie Sparrow. I work at Social Value UK, and today we're partnering with whatimpact.com to do a webinar on enabling impact creation in the social value market. So I'm just going to go over a few housekeeping points and then I'll pass over to Vidia from whatimpact.com. So first of all, if you don't mind muting yourself unless you're asking a question, just so we can hear the presenters. And also this session is being recorded. So if you don't want to be in the recording, please turn your camera off. So just to introduce whatimpact.com, they are a tech for good company that connects those seeking resources with those who have something to give. In this webinar, they will shine some light on their new social impact reporting tool, which can help organizations on both sides of the giving equation be more efficient, transparent, and importantly, impactful. So thank you, and I'll pass over to Vidia.
Thank you, Rosie, and thank you for hosting us. We're super pleased to be here and present our platform. So essentially, we've all come together onto this webinar because we've all got a huge interest in social value, and that's basically about making a positive impact in our local community. So we have essentially created a platform that matches givers and givers, so those that have resources to give, such as companies and grant makers, with recipients, such as charities and social enterprises that need the resources. And the idea of our platform is to form meaningful, beneficial partnerships that will help deliver the social value in our community. So I'm Vidia. I'm the COO from whatimpact, and Tiia and I will essentially walk you through today's webinar. So Tiia in a moment is going to give an introduction to whatimpact and our evolution, because we actually started off as What Charity, and then she will go through the key findings of our white paper. The white paper is essentially the reason why we created this platform, and some really interesting statistics and research that's been carried out. I will then talk you through a little bit about how the platform works. And then one of the cool features that we have in the platform is a social impact reporting tool. So we know how important that is when it comes to showing the great work that is being done. So Tiia is going to talk you through that. And then there's a Q&A session. But if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please put them in the chat. And Rosie, if you could kindly let us know if any questions come through, we will answer them. Okay, so Tiia, over to you. And if we, should I share the video first, or do you want to do this intro?
Well, I'll do the intro first,
yeah,
and then we can show the video, and
yeah,
we go to the white paper. Yes, so hello everyone. Thank you so much for giving us the time to meet you here and tell about whatimpact. My name is Tiia Sammallahti, and I'm the founder, I'm CEO of the company. This idea, whatimpact.com, has been in a rough level existing already almost 15 years. And it was before Facebook and LinkedIn and all these social medias or other these kind of really two-sided marketplaces. My background is purely in business, but I set up a fundraising charity a long time ago, 20 years ago, and we operated several years with a quite big network of business people and businesses to put in together resources for certain charities. First of all, charities were quite hard to find, as they still are today, if you're looking for like a perfect match exactly for your kind of kind of your values and also what resource you have to offer. And we learned through those 5 years that, really kind of working closely with the partners who we chosen to work with, the charities, we could actually then create a lot of projects for them and help them with their projects with various different kind of resources, not just money. So we end up actually not raising that much money, a little bit of cash, but then we used our skills. Companies were donating a lot of their skills, service packages and products, and we end up renovating buildings, playgrounds, and doing quite extensive work, which would have cost hundreds of thousands of pounds at that point. So then suddenly kind of, it just came to my mind that there has to be this kind of digital system where any company, any size and type, or any grant maker could just go and see what kind of a local charities or what charities in their area would be needing, and then start to filter and match with them based on what they have to offer. Obviously, this was very early days in terms of CSR. Well, the time flew by, and then approximately 4.5 years ago, I decided to set the company here in the UK. I had already studied the market quite a bit, and charity sector and CSR sector in general. And we came to conclusion with some of my investors that we will set up first whatimpact.com, which is a charity database that pulls automatically government data in the name of transparency, and kind of formulates very complete profiles for charities, whom we then started to matchmake with companies and grant givers kind of in more manual manner. We didn't exactly know how the dynamics would work, what information would be needed, how specific the impact reporting in this kind of like a digital system should be, in order the players, the charities and social enterprises to be able to complete it. Because the fact is that currently 1.5% of the charities get 70% of the sector income. And this is quite a well-known fact that the bigger players seem to get it all, and which is not has that to do with that they have the biggest marketing budget, but they also have maybe the best impact reporting systems, and they can kind of collaborate with the funders in more proactive manner, and therefore then companies tend to lean on that direction. But in the name of societal and environmental sustainability, we need to embrace all type of social value creators. There are aspects of local giving, there are aspects of certain industry-linked causes, and then there are these overall societal dilemmas, which are kind of everybody's business. So therefore, there needs to be some kind of a platform system and tech enhanced mechanism that then helps all different kind of organizations come together depending on what their kind of strategic approach is or what their motivations are. So after 3.5 years of running What Charity, we launched now whatimpact.com in December. So we are now 1 month and 1 week old pretty much at the moment, so exciting times. And yes, we also are funded partly by government, Innovate UK grant, and we got other like a support by government funded as well. So that's kind of the journey so far. And on whatcharity.com, we have 1,200 admin people. So we've been collaborating with hundreds and hundreds of charities, and we've been already distributing resources, whether it's skills-based volunteering service and product packages or grants for tens of companies. And now obviously we wish to scale this operation on What Impact. So there will be hundreds or even thousands of offers out there quite quickly, which will then benefit the organizations who do the work on the ground. Okay, but yes, shall we see a 2-minute video now then about the kind of the initial idea? Maybe it's good to see that first, and then we go to the white paper, because as Vidia mentioned, the white paper, the research, what we've done has then culminated into the product. So maybe you then see the links to the product while we go through the white paper findings. And I think this is the better order in this now.
Okay.
They say we have 10 years to change the world for the better. Companies, trusts, and foundations play a key role in supporting both environmental and societal causes. But with 70% of charity sector income going to 1.5% of all charities and 1.1 billion being used annually for applying for grants, something needs to change. Finding an organization to support with grants, volunteering, product and service donations can be time-consuming and costly. We believe making a difference should be easier and more transparent. whatimpact is a matchmaking marketplace for those who have resources to give and those who deliver the work for those in need. whatimpact is for all registered companies, charities, grant makers, and social enterprises in the UK. Our algorithm and filters match like-minded organizations who share the same vision of the future and have the same goals. Donors on our platform can post offers of grants, donations, skill-based volunteering, and products or services. And charities and social enterprises can apply with their projects. Our streamlined applications process helps to keep both parties' information in one place, making due diligence easier than ever. Our world-class impact reporting formulates comparable information for donors to understand the difference they helped making. As we are an open platform, including transparent government, grantmaker, and partnership information, it's easy to evaluate potential partners and formulate co-funding partnerships. whatimpact is for those who wish to give more efficiently, transparently, strategically, and in a more democratic way. So set up your profile and start making an impact today. Visit whatimpact.com. They say we have 10 years.
There we go. Okay, so that's our little brand video that gives a really nice overview of the product. And as Tiia said, this will share some of the findings from the white paper, which really is the reason behind the platform. Over to you, Tiia.
Yes. So in October 2020, we launched the white paper. It's downloadable on whatimpact.com. So if you wish to read it entirely, please just download it from there. And the purpose of this was, this white paper was to collect all the data we have been gathering throughout the years. This includes primary data. We've been conducting a lot of various type of surveys that have quite nice attendance rates from 350 to 600 respondents in the charity sector each. And then, of course, we follow a lot of industry research and reports from various players, whether it's NCVO or NPC and so forth, CAF. I think the charity sector is quite great in that sense that there is lots of reports and data available, and they don't cost anything. So it's quite rare comparison to many business sectors. So our report name is Enabling Impact Creation. So that's, as our name says, we are totally focusing on the impact we can create together, and also now kind of our thoughts around how this private and third sector interaction could be enhanced and made more efficient and so on, because there are various gaps in the market. And our aim with this white paper and our product, and also our consultancy services, or wherever we are kind of operating within the sector, we want to enable knowledge sharing, resource sharing. We want to enable connectivity across the sectors, and also then going towards the sustainability development goals. As we know, there are various challenges in our society, whether they're societal, like in welfare things, or environmental things, and in order us to build a better future, those issues have to be tackled now and not later. Next slide, please. So we came to conclusion with the information we had in hand that there would be 4 major steps bridging the gaps in the market. Those steps were, first of all, creating a mindset change within the sector, where, you know, usually it's more of that somebody's giving out of the goodwill or giving back. And then there are the organizations who actually then help the beneficiaries. Also, the one thing is bridging the very tangible and in practical gaps between companies and charities / social enterprises. They live in a little bit different world, and there is certain language barriers, but also knowledge barriers, how to interact and what could be done together. So we came to conclusions what this would be meaning. So the collaborations between companies and then the social value providers would be more kind of lean and efficient. Then we've been also studying a little bit grant maker sector, and we have ideas about that. And then, you know, as a, could you please bring back? Yeah, so then, of course, like I mentioned about the impact, you know, kind of what is the situation at the moment in terms of transparency and reporting impact, and kind of making everybody aware of what's happening, where the money goes, what has been achieved, and how we could be improving that landscape. As everybody together, but also us as a company. We are obviously not telling with this white paper that we solve every single gap in the market and every single challenge there is. But yes, our service will be tackling all of these 4 points in our own role. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so as I mentioned that we wish to move from the concept of like philanthropy or just giving back to more of this kind of mutually beneficial partnership kind of mindset. That it's not just randomly somebody giving or the kind of the resource owners would be kind of guiding the whole process, but it should be also the needs of the charities and social enterprise should be guiding the collaborations more, and also kind of, you know, their views on what should be done and what kind of resources and when and what kind of partnerships should be formulated. If you move to the next slide, please. So there is a quite rigid kind of a structure existing on the market, that there is a private sector and they operate in that world, and then there are the third sector players. And of course, nowadays there is more collaboration and networking events and organizations where both private sector and third sector might be members, like Social Value UK is a good example of that. But still there are a lot of like a third sector kind of how would I say, events and communications and media, which is totally kind of outside of the scope of the private sector and vice versa. And therefore, we've been finding when we've been collaborating with a lot of companies and charities that people don't understand each other's kind of motivations or kind of goals, whether it's on the private or business goals or a third sector, then kind of their mission goals. And therefore, sometimes the partnerships are hard to formulate. So we are now suggesting that we should more of start lumping, you know, those who have resources to give in kind of the one side, and then the other side, those who are actually working with the beneficiaries, and try to formulate as mutually beneficial and shared value type of partnership between those organizations, whether it's in a smaller scale or larger scale, but in terms of that they are proper collaborations that from the day one, it's inherent that there will be benefits for both parties, and nobody is kind of, the power balance is also kind of equal in that sense. And therefore, you know, on our platform, we have structures actually so that even though the grant makers come from the charity sector and they are trusts and foundations, they are kind of listed as the those who give resources, and then again, social enterprises are listed in Companies House and are profit-making companies, but yet they are the ones delivering the kind of the beneficiary benefits, and therefore we have structured, the organizations in this way. Next slide, please. Then we have done quite a lot of research on what companies how companies see charities and how charities and social enterprises see companies, and what are the gaps, and there are quite a bit of kind of lack of knowledge that what kind of resources and how it should be allocated would be beneficial for these beneficiary organizations. As we all know, companies still want to do a lot of one-day volunteering in teams. There are lots of companies, it says 11 million in the UK, working for someone who get paid volunteering, but it's given, there is given permission to use it almost anywhere, and people are then randomly participating in charitable activities, but also majority of people are not actually using the days because it's so difficult to find the charity to work with. So in our surveys, it was found that 40% of charities in general, this was before COVID, used unskilled volunteering, and nobody wanted more. That was the only resource that they didn't want more, just unskilled volunteering. Every single other resource, obviously money is always quite on top, but skills, all kind of strategic help, trustees, mentors, this kind of really heavy duty skills-based volunteering, that was very much wanted. And there was a big gap, like 30% between what they were getting and what they were hoping to get. Also, I think company services and products are not harnessed well enough as donations to the market. And charities would definitely benefit from them if they knew beforehand that what was coming up, and there would be a continuous flow of the services. Obviously, if somebody says that we give you bookkeeping services 3 months for free, nobody would change their overall accountancy just for 3 months free services. It has to be a longer term. But charities would save lots of money if they could get certain services for free, which they normally pay with money. There are a lot of data in the report about this survey, if you want to look this deeper. So how we have solved this on our platform. First of all, charities and social enterprises can list all of their needs in terms of money, skills, products, and services on their profile as an ongoing need. And then also companies and grant makers can list their offers. They are actually putting proper official bids out on the platform where charities can apply, and there we cater all these resources needed, and there is also monetary value to it and the description of the service and all kind of criteria. So it's then very clear for the partner, the partners, charities and social enterprises, what they would be seeking for and what are they actually applying for. We also cater these formulation of partnerships on the platform so that there are extra due diligence questions and stuff in order to make sure that both parties understand what the resource is, how it's delivered, when it's delivered, what are the responsibilities of each party. And therefore, they can start formulating mutually beneficial collaboration. Next slide, please. Then about the grant maker, like traditional grant makers, whether they're trust foundations, may be set up for originally to, some kind of a charitable cause, or maybe some foundation set up by a company who has then kind of generated a separate foundation. Charities, small and medium-sized charities especially, they are almost desperate in terms of applying for grants. And they are just saying that they send so many applications, hundreds a year, and they might not get any responses. And they see grant makers totally unreachable. And I'm not exaggerating. It's like there is a lot of desperation and frustration in the market. So there is a lot of lack of transparency and also too vague descriptions sometimes what the grants are given for. And therefore, charities and social enterprises are just applying because they are just like trying anything. 1.1 billion is used annually applying for grants, according to statistics, University of Bath research done only 1.5 years ago. And that is a big sum of money, which indicates some kind of inefficiency. Also, we got responses from grant makers who openly say that they don't want to even promote their grants. They are hiding them from them websites and so on, that they don't want any more applications and they get too many applications and so on. It is, of course, understandable now from the kind of both parties, but then again, we have to seek for the reason for too many applications that are not matching the grant, or then charities applying for 1,000 grants and then not getting almost any. There has to be something is kind of misplaced. And what we have now kind of done on our platform is that we in both parties' profiles, what we hold, there is very detailed information of what they are looking for, what are the impact goals they are trying to achieve, what is their social mission, and this kind of like a softer, like a values. We are matching them with AI solution. So our topic modeling algorithm understands the language of the profile. Also, there is very specific details on any project that the charity is doing. We pull government data on their financials, trustees, and so on, kind of try to make a very holistic image of who the applicant organization is, and also then make a very clear statement of the giver side, grant maker, what is the grant actually for? And then the application process can be done so that people wouldn't just apply for the sake of applying. They would instantly see that this is not a match, I'm not applying, or then it's a real match. So our model kind of demands more specific descriptions of the both offering and the applications. The point also is that saving partly this 1.1 billion is that the application process has to be streamlined, and we have solved it so that charities and social enterprises complete their profiles once, and they complete their project informations once, and they always apply with that information. So it's actually just a few bits of due diligence questionnaire what they have to tailor-made for each application, which saves them so much hours and hours, tens of hours of time in certain, if not hundreds. So the grant making system where every single grant maker have their own templates, too vague of descriptions of grants and so on, is just eating up too much resources, actually from both parties. Okay, the next slide. Then, of course, this transparency, we know that transparency means a lot of things. There's been lots of articles around transparency and lack of trust on the charity sector as long as I can remember. And of course, it has to do sometimes with the crises and these kind of misconducts on the sector. But it's just in general, what we kind of came to the conclusion more of that people don't understand the impact, the change what we are being made. 99.9% of charities and social enterprises do fantastic work, and they are just creating, such a change in our society, some in very miniature model, very small local charities, and some in the whole, like a nation scale or globally. But if people know about the change what being made, the stories, it's about touching people's heart, and people are people in corporates and grant makers as well. So even though there are organizations who view things in strategic way, it is still the change what they're looking for. That's what they're trying to achieve, and they need to know the hardcore figures, but also the kind of the beneficiary stories and all kind of evidence that what has been happening. And therefore impact is so much related to this transparency. Of course, on our platform, the government data, and we also apply 360 giving data to the grant maker and charity profiles. So that kind of increases the knowledge of who else has been funding, what has been happening before, but also then, every single funder who's been funding a project will get their own impact report, which states what explicitly happened in this project and how much they contributed to it. We kind of oppose that kind of model with that companies or grant makers who have been funding projects would start to themselves analyzing the impact if they haven't got the actual proper like a measurement and research results from the organization who actually did the work. So every single operator, charity or social enterprise, although they would be working very similarly to their peer organizations, have specific impact. Every single organization have different results because they are different, and therefore not external party can come and start to evaluating the impact based on maybe some standard numbers that usually apply to certain type of cause. So therefore we wish to have the actual beneficiary organization reporting back in a very streamlined way, bringing evidence to the table, and then the organizations who've been funding or giving other resources can then collect all the reports from the projects that they've been funding and then putting them together themselves, and then everything is based on the actual measured facts. Anyway, there's a lot of data on our white paper, and more sophisticated language that I was speaking here with my second language. So apologies, but I hope that you will read it through and get some ideas. And we have a good reference list there too. So you might get like some tips for some reports that you haven't known existing before, because we've been doing quite a lot of work around that as well.
Okay. Thank you, Tiia, for that very detailed overview. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly stop sharing, because I would like to show you the platform and actually show you some of the stuff that Tiia's literally been talking about. So, gosh, lots of people on the call. Hello, everyone. Now, let me bring up this, and I will reshare. Okay, can you see my screen with the new platform, with the platform on it?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you, Rosie. Okay, so this is our platform that Tiia has just been speaking about. It's essentially whatimpact.com. And as I said earlier, we've said the whole purpose of this platform is to bring companies and grant makers, so those people that have got resources to give, and match them using our artificial intelligence, our matching algorithm, with charities and social enterprises. And the matching algorithm works on shared values and shared goals and shared mission. So what's so wonderful about the algorithm is that Tiia mentioned earlier, there's so many charities that are very, very difficult to find. But actually, if you have shared goals and shared visions, when you are a member of the platform, you will be matched with charities that are suitable based on what you've created and what you've put as your goals and your vision in your profile. So this platform, this is the video that we saw earlier, and you can find out some further information if you're a charity or a social enterprise, or if you're a grant maker or company. So if we assume that we are a charity, now has my screen changed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this will give you some information about showing the benefits of the platform. And if you wanted to have a demo, you could book that's here. We have some case studies and pricing for the platform. I should point out at this point that for charities and social enterprises, it's free until the end of May. We're really encouraging people to sign up onto the platform, trial it, just have a go. And for companies and grant makers, it's free until the end of March 2021. So really, you've got nothing to lose just by trialing this platform. Now, if you wanted to see who was on the platform, and the same, by the way, applies for companies and grant makers, you would just get the same information on the benefits and the pricing. So you'd go to the search and you can see who is on the platform. Now, has my screen changed again?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So as you can see, we already have a number of supporter organizations. So these are grant makers and companies. So with these platforms, with these tickets, you can have a look, find out a little bit about the organization. So these are the areas of interest and the goals that Tiia spoke about. And Tiia also mentioned about the financials. So this data has been pulled from the Charities Commission. So that actually reduces the amount of work that needs to be done when completing your profile. So if I just go back one. So if I were a charity and my mission was around the theme of women, I could just type in women into the search and let's see what comes up. So these are companies and grant makers that have that also are interested in the theme of women. So if I just click on Handy SOS, I can find out a little bit about the company. I may not have heard of them, but it's a way to see what's available. And we can again see the areas of interest and the goals that they're trying to make. And I can then see the offer that is available. And here we have an offer where Handy SOS are essentially offering 3 products of safety devices, and this is their criteria. So all of this information is available to the public, but in order to have a match, our members actually need to create a profile on the platform. So for charities and grant makers, a lot of that information is pulled from the Charities Commission database, so that makes it a lot easier. And in terms of completing a profile, we have anticipated for a charity, it will take approximately 60 minutes. And for companies, grant makers, and social enterprises, it's between 20 and 30 minutes to create the profile. When your profile is created, the charities and the social enterprises will create a project, as Tiia mentioned earlier. And the companies and grant makers are creating offers. And the offers could be cash donations, skills-based volunteering, products. So products could be rucksacks or safety devices like Handy SOS are offering, or services that we spoke about earlier, such as offering strategic consultancy, legal work, accountancy, and a number of different services that could be provided. So once you have created your profile, your view is slightly different, and you essentially can either apply for an offer that you find just by browsing, or you, through the matching algorithm, matches that the algorithm deems as a suitable match will be presented to you, and that's on your dashboard. If I just show you what the dashboard looks like, and so this is what a dashboard could look like. But in this case, we haven't got any matches, but essentially it would show up with a number of matches that you've been given. And when the match happens, that's essentially the start of the communication process, where due diligence happens. And there is also a chat feature where the charity and the company can start talking to see whether this is a partnership that is going to work well and be long-term and sustainable. Once both parties have agreed that the match is suitable and the approvals on both sides have taken place, we have this really cool feature called Project Greeting, which essentially promotes the match, where the project and the offer have come together. So what we've realized is there's a lot of data that's already on the platform, such as images and an overview of the project and overview of the offer. And this is a really good way of both organizations essentially sharing the great work that is being done. So a 30-second video is created that pulls the data, and you are able to then share that through Instagram or Twitter, or even internally on internal intranets, whatever is deemed appropriate. So that we thought was a really, really lovely feature. So then the project takes place, and when the charity has completes the project, one of the features is putting in a reporting period. So let's assume it's a 6-month reporting period. After 6 months, the charity will receive a notification saying it's now time to report on the impact that of the project, of the match that took place. So the charity will essentially complete an impact report, and Tiia will talk about this in a little bit more detail, but essentially there'll be a number of direct outcomes that will come out from the project. But what we have learned over this is that during this, on the platform, lots of data has already been pulled. So the impact report, actually, half of it has already been created. So we're saving time and making the whole process of reporting far more efficient. So at this stage, we are able to create, once the charity has completed their part of the impact reports, we then, the platform creates 2 social impact reports. One is a slightly longer version that could contain confidential information, and that would be for your internal stakeholders. You may use information in the annual report, or it could just be something that you put on your website. Equally, the administrator of the platform has the ability to download all of the key data into a CSV file that could be shared with the company's design team, in case parts of that report would need to go into an externally branded annual report. And then there is a second, much shorter social impact report, which you have the choice to choose what information is public, but essentially what we learned was not everybody goes to companies to read their CSR reports, yet all of this amazing work is being done. And this, if I go back to this platform, back to the page where we can search, essentially an extra tab is created here, which basically is impact. So it's public domain information where you are demonstrating your CSR and the value that you're putting back into community. And this is on both sides. So those are that's a very high level overview of how the platform works and what it looks like. Tiia, over to you. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the social impact report?
Yes, I will share my own screen.
Okay, if I just stop sharing. Very mindful of time as well, Tiia.
Yes,
yeah,
I will be quick. Not my forte usually, but anyway, try. One participant can share at a time. Let's see. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. So, oh, sorry, this is wrong. Yeah, so just wanted to say one thing here for everyone, that we don't expect our platform to be like the only place for every single operator that they are, kind of managing their CSR. It serves that purpose, actually giving these resources, matches, reporting in one place. But even if, let's say, you are a grant maker or company who has their own systems in place and wish to maybe do more complicated, application processes, our platform is a great way to do the pre-scouting. If you have a kind of a statement on your website saying no unsolicited grant applications, for instance, you can solicitate on our platform and give them access to those selected partners to apply for your grants or your resources, for example. So it operates a little bit similarly. We always take this analogy of LinkedIn, that LinkedIn disrupted the recruitment sector, but it didn't mean that recruitment sector, all the companies ceased to exist. But every single recruitment company uses it in some sense, some more, some little bit less. So this is kind of what we hope to also bring to the table, that it can be used as an assistive tool to really match, maybe use for local matches. You might still do the nationwide bigger negotiation elsewhere, but you can find tens and tens of new players in different kind of cities and stuff, which would usually take a lot of resources, and maybe you have to hire people to actually look for those contacts, and our platform can then substitute that. So just to say that, but really briefly going through, the impact report. So I'm very happy to discuss this in more detail with anybody, in a separate kind of call. So just you can contact us. Sorry, I'm trying to now share my screen. Yes, now. Share. Okay, I hope you can see it now.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, okay. So as Vidia said, lots of details are automatically pulled. This is now the basic structure of the report. And all these details, what has been the match, what was the resources given with what conditions, who was the recipient, who was the organization who gave them, what was the project, and these are all automatically delivered. So when you start to fill in the impact report, this data comes automatically because this was the agreement. Then there will be the actual impact reporting part, and that content has been designed originally together with NCVO evaluation services. We started this process already 2 years ago, And after that, we've been getting input from a member of the committee who was a part of, implementing or actually getting British standard 8950 for impact measurement and reporting to a place. And it was supposed to be verified, the standard. It's a voluntary standard in the end of last year. I don't know, was it then confirmed, but it should be then confirmed soon if it wasn't. But Tom Levitt has been also from that committee taking part of this impact reporting. NCVO Evaluation Services didn't just suggest us something. We actually have been testing this in the market in several occasions with charities, grant makers, companies, and social enterprises. And so we believe that it serves the purpose. So let's go through the views. So here you can see it's the actual offer ticket and our due diligence questions, what the resource giver can define themselves on our platform. Then the recipient information, here is a charity whose basic profile details are pulled here. Then it's the actual resource giver or the supporter. Here, the company details are here. Then we describe the actual project where the resources were given. And if you, in charities, it's more likely to them to have a project like officially project, but this same template applies to social enterprises. Although they are commercial entities, they always have their social activity kind of part of the operations, and they can describe it here as like a social value kind of generating like a model or project. We also use UN Sustainability Development Goals in our filtering system. Then we come to the actual impact reporting. So when an organization reports the impact of the project to the funder, they can do it for many funders at the same time or supporters. They don't have to duplicate the work. They can just deliver one report, and it doesn't have to be exactly 6 months' time. If your reporting period ends after 3 months of getting resources from this organization and 1 month from this, you can still report on the project, because as we know that, if you get like £10,000 or £100,000 or some skills-based volunteering, it's not that actual resource that you gave has to be like time slotted or exactly that impact, which was contributed with that money or resources has to be reported, because always projects have other resources involved and other kind of supports us. So it is a generic report done within 6 months' time on that project that had been getting resources. We are adding other information details here about the project. So they kind of tell about the current state of the project, which maybe something might have been changed a little bit when you originally posted it, how they define the success of the project in general, but also listing certain challenges they might have been facing. There are some key outputs listed here, and then there is a selection of direct outcomes, indirect outcomes, and then the kind of overall impact of that project. So we list them as what are the major changes as an outcome, maybe some other details of it, and then you report how this was measured. And then, because many projects might last several years, then kind of what was actually accomplished, what bits of that in the past 12 months. You can have one direct outcome or several here. So this is just copy paste. Then there are indirect outcomes which follow the same pattern. Also, if there is some negative outcome to report, that can be reported. And then also actually this should be, direct impact. Sorry, there is in this wireframe, this is just the overall impact, and then some kind of a case study that you tell about the story. There is a quote can be given from the funder, and then you can like report some key learnings of this project. So this should give a good overview for the funder about, kind of overall what has been happening, and all these supporting information can be then anything really. It can be files attached, it can be links attached. So there can be then more substantial reports or some kind of other evidence or video links or reports attached to this. There is a media file related to this, which then captures images, and also those greetings that Vidia mentioned originally when you formulate the partnerships before the impact creation actually starts, will be stored in both parties' profile. And then this is now the short version of the impact report, which doesn't share all the details to the rest of the world, but this is the public view of the impact, which can be then found on our website. So you can see that this project between these two parties, Ernst & Young in here gave £5,000 worth of something, and the project details are here, an image, the impact of the project, and then certain output numbers and a case study and supporter statement. This would be kind of the public view that any consumer, any site visitor could be seeing, and rest of the report details are between those two parties, those admin people and those organizations. And then you can generate this kind of a video version of the impact report as well that can be shared on social media, celebrating the impact that has been created together. So this is in a nutshell what the reporting tool looks like. Would you anybody have now questions? You can just open your mics and just ask questions.
Nikki's asked if you'll be getting a copy of the slides. Yes, we're happy to share the slides. If it's the data and that you're interested in, as Tiia said, all of that's in the white paper that's been referenced, and you can just download a copy from our website, whatimpact.com.
Hi, I've got a question. This is brilliant. Thank you. This is amazing, and the sort of thing that I've been saying for a long time that is needed, and why don't these people just talk to each other in the same language? But anyway, the cost of it once the free period is over, what is that? And is it an ongoing cost, a sort of monthly cost to be on the platform, or is it a sort of one-off cost that you pay to sort of get yourself on it and you're then on it forever?
Yeah, so charities and social enterprises pay quite nominal fee, and that's tiered according to the turnover of the organization. And it's the price bracket, I think, if I remember correctly, will be like £10 a month to like maximum £40 or something. Yeah. So it is quite nominal fee, but it's free now till the end of May anyway. Then company grant maker side, we have a different kind of approaches. If it's a grant maker or company distributing only money, they pay quite low initial monthly fee to have the whole profile and get in the system. And then depending how much grants they are distributing a year, small percentage as a commission from the grants distributed. So the monthly fee, I think it's £150, and then there is an annual package, I think it's like £1,000 or something. So having the profile there, being able to use the system is actually super cheap, I would say. Then if you run volunteering programs, skills-based product and service donations, obviously we cannot charge commission on those because they weren't monetary in the first place. So then depending on how many people work in your organization, how many people you are catering with our service, then it's according to the number of employees, and the monthly subscription fees are then higher. Yeah. And what we offer also in this kind of most like a holistic service package. I cannot say the name of the company now, but we have a big contract now with the global giant who will start to run like a skills-based volunteering program for thousands of people in the UK on our platform. And they also then add some other services from us that we are partly helping them to generate the offers, and we also have like some customer service for their employees if they need some advice and stuff like that. So that's kind of the range where we operate, and all the prices are now open on our platform. And we are as a startup and just launching this service, we are very ready to take feedback. We will be changing our pricing structure according to the need. It's not like rigid that this is it and we know it all. It's, of course, it's a demand mark. There has to be demand, and people have to see that it's worth, you know, the money. And you know, that's why we are very happy to you know, get feedback also on the pricing, and against the standards on the industry, we have placed every single price now openly on a platform, because we are for transparency and every action, so we are not hiding the prices.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Going once.
And if you want any demo, you know, just book a demo. We have you know, different people giving demos kind of for company grant maker aspect, and different people then charity social enterprise, because there are just different things. Our customer service works well. We reply everything instantly. We have, you know, we have very active email communication. We promote the offers. We share lots of content. We have blog posts, podcasts, all kind of like these kind of webinars, but other kind of webinars in YouTube, and we share the material. So if you like to get to know what impact more, just like visit our social medias and, you know, kind of our website, and sign up for the newsletter, because then you get posted, you know, about the latest kind of developments.
Yeah, I guess the key message is it's free to try, so you've got nothing to lose. So for companies and grant makers until the end of March, and then for companies and charities and social enterprises until the end of May. So please just have a go and see whether it's something for you. I don't think there are any more questions. Rosie, do you want to come and close off?
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. That was really interesting. So we're going to be sending out an email to everyone with the recording, hopefully later today, and yeah, the slides. But I can't think of anything else. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Social Value UK, for this. And it's been lovely we've been sharing lots of material and stuff, because we are for the reporting, we are not for the measurement. And we've been collaborating in terms of, you know, organizations learn to measure and what they should be measuring and stuff like that. And therefore, we are not kind of, we want to communicate that, but we are not developing that material ourselves. So it's been lovely to get that bit from Social Value UK.
Great, thank you. And if you need to contact us, our emails are really simple. It's Vidia@whatimpact.com or Tiia@whatimpact.com. And Rick does lots of demos. He's rick@whatimpact.com.
I have my phone number in LinkedIn. Just pick up the phone.
Yeah,
so
sure.
we are not untouchable. We are reachable. That's our motto.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time, and thank you, Rosie, for organising and hosting us.